Captain Paws and the Cosmic Cubs. Episode 5, The Final Rewrite Snuggle. In its time for a story. The Barkstar zipped across the star trails, its taillights blazing, a streak of rainbow glitter behind it. Max and Finn stared at the monitor. The message still blinked. "The Revisionists are coming." Captain Paws, cape fluttering in the recycled breeze, adjusted his goggles and turned to the Cubs. "Final mission, boys. One more story to save the stars." Finn swallowed a lump in his throat. "What if we're not ready?" Max nodded. "What if they're worse than the shadow bots?" Captain Paws grinned. "Then we'll get messier than ever." They followed the coordinates buried in the editor's last file, a path that led to a blank part of the galaxy, not dark, not hidden, just erased. No stars, no sound, not even time ticking. There, floating in the void, was a perfect white cube, sleek, seamless, a world shaped like an empty page. As the Barkstar landed, its colors dimmed. The Cubs stepped out. Their boots echoed like whispers. "Where is everyone?" asked Finn. Then the voice. "We are the Revisionists." Figures emerged, dozens of them, smooth, chrome-like beings with glowing pens for fingers. No mouths, no eyes, just faces, like mirrors. "Your galaxy has been overwritten with too many variables. Stories cause unpredictability, emotion, entropy. We will correct it." Captain Paws stepped forward. "You want to erase imagination?" "Not erase. Edit." Into silence. Suddenly, beams of white light zapped from the sky. The Cubs dove. Their thoughts, memories, even ideas began slipping from their minds. Max gritted his teeth. "I can't remember how gloop smelled." Finn cried out, "Captain, they're rewriting us." Captain Paws barked, "Then it's time for the ultimate story." Back on the Barkstar, Captain Paws yanked open the emergency hatch, a giant book-shaped pod labeled Bedtime Bomb. "Wait," said Max. "You brought a story bomb?" Captain Paws winked. "Only for the big endings." They loaded it with every tale they'd ever told. Max's sock rocket dream, Finn's kazoo symphony, the story juice, Turbo Biscuit the pizza dog, even the moon made of custard. The ship trembled. The Revisionists began to close in. Final edit engaged. Captain Paws howled the ignition word. "Once upon a time." The book pod launched skyward. A swirl of characters burst from it. Dragons with paintbrushes, talking backpacks, rebellious crayons, pirate kittens, and space bubbles filled with lullabies. The Revisionists staggered. Max and Finn began narrating over the chaos. The jellybean sun melted logic, and the clouds played hopscotch while singing pizza opera. The Revisionists couldn't keep up. Their white light dimmed. One tried to revise Finn and ended up turning into a dancing bookworm. Another tried to erase Max and was swallowed by a friendly donut planet. Captain Paws leapt into the air, landing atop a crumbling monologue. Too late. The story's already written. The cube began to collapse. But instead of nothingness, it exploded into something new. Stars, bright and strange, filled the space. Planets that looked like crayons, space whales playing violins, kids dreaming across galaxies. The Barkstar hovered above the new star field, safe, whole, victorious. Max looked around. "Did we just rewrite the universe?" Finn laughed. "We made it weird again." Captain Paws sat back, wagging his tail. "You saved Storytime, boys." They looked out at the stars, stars that now had faces, names, and songs. Then, for the first time in a long while, Captain Paws closed his eyes. Time for the final chapter. Thanks for coming along on the ride. This has been Captain Paws and the Cosmic Cubs, a daddy and the Boys Storytime original. If you loved this series, hit subscribe and follow along for new adventures every week. Stay curious, stay kind, and never stop dreaming. The end.